Hey everybody, just setting up, and I don't think anybody else is here. It also occurred to me that I did not, well, I did post actually online about this, but I'm putting it in my groups as well. Uh, Bear with me for a moment. I gotta grab my paper still and my pencils, but again, nobody is watching right now. Why? Because it's too damn early. Welcome to the show. This was a little bit unplanned. Fanboy is not on today, so I figured rather than try to cram something in, we shall do something uh, right now. Okay, just setting this up here. Almost there. And I had figured I would be doing at least an hour, but who knows? Because I've said, oh, maybe because I know Cliff's usually not on until later, but now Cliff is saying he's going to go on early. So I don't know. We'll get at least an hour in. Let me do this. I'm setting up camera number 2. Bear with me for just a moment. My brain is not quite working yet, hence this is where we are. You might say, hey, how come you didn't get up early to set up? I did get up early, but here we are. Brian, hey, you've missed nothing so far. Hey, Izzy. Kingdom of Nerds, hello, how are you? If you guys are just joining me, which you are, this isn't typically my normal time. I'm usually on at about 11 o'clock. Yesterday, it occurred to me, um, Fanboy Prime, that is, who does a great show, put up that he couldn't want. I had. Oh, hold on. That doesn't sound good. There we go. Nope. Better? No. Hello? No, still getting it. Okay. Nope, hit the wrong button. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to try something else here. I did mute one of the mics, but let me try that again here. In case you're just joining us, it's too damn early. I don't know what else to say. Let's see. How's that? Ah. I have an idea. Better? No, see, I already. Hold on. How about now? Hello? Yeah. Yeah, see. Oh, did we get it? Did I? Did we get it or did I mute everything? Yeah, because I did both. I had a lot of problems with. I had one muted, I had one mic'd up. Tell me if you can hear me. Yes. Okay. That's all right. We've only been doing this for like, what, 4 years? Almost? We'll figure this out. All right. Getting camera 2 set up. Okay. Okay. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Just getting my stuff out now. Okay. All right. So I'm moving past the stuff you can't see. If you're joining me, again, this is just the second episode of Let's Draw, which I set up basically to go through a Joe Kubert art book. I have these reversed. Trying to get a good view for you. There we go. That I've had for a long time. So you could tell I don't have a proper drawing or drafting board, so this is kind of what I do. You might be saying right now, hey, what is this crap? Yes, this is Phil just winging it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I was going to go through the book again a little bit more today, but I didn't get any of my supplies together because I'm smart like that. So what I'm going to do later on today, I was just made aware of this last night, or yesterday rather, Bronze Age Nerd and a few others, I learned this through Big B McFly, are going to be doing an art auction for Mission 22, which is related to veterans. If I knew more about it, I would tell you more. That's all I needed to know. So I was donating a original piece I had done a while ago. Let me show you what I'm going to put in. I have not even sent this over to Big B yet. Not this one. I don't like this one. Okay. I just have to see which notebook it's in here. These are some watercolors I did about 2018, 2019. Maybe Daredevil. Let's see. I know that my thing is all screwed up. Heroes for Heroes Mission 22 fundraiser. Yes, Brian. Maybe Daredevil. I do like that one. You know what? Maybe I might just say screw it and send a couple. You guys tell me. Silver Surfer. This is the Mike Allred era. And I'm at the point where these I've had for a while. This is from 2019. I know right off the top of my head. There's the link. I don't see the link, Bri. Let me see some of my other book. So I had one in mind. Well, this is a mostly unused book. That might be it because I have a third notebook that's not in front of me. Oh, I see it. Hold on. Yeah, you know, it is evil. It's my phone, so it does not zoom with StreamYard, I believe. You know what it is? It's because I'm using the front camera. Here. I'll see if there's a way to... Settings, no. Camera. Oh, I remember this now from last time. Back camera. Okay. All right, let's do this for Zoom. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's what I'm going to have to do. It's just kind of... So this one I think is a definite that should be in. And yeah, like I know I have the wrong setup on this now. I'm just kind of tired of dealing with it, to be honest with you. Okay. So this piece I'm definitely donating. Let me see if the other one I had in mind is readily on hand. These were closer, I think, in definitely an 18. Maybe this one. I don't quite know. Tell me what you guys prefer as well. This is a Mr. Miracle. I read this right around the same time. I'm not a fan of the Venom in here. Not so much the patch. We have Sandman. Okay, come on, let's work this out here. Thor's just okay. Where is the one I really wanted to do? Let's see. Hi, Dracula. Hey, if you guys were looking for some great content, I hate to disappoint you this morning. Because this is like, yeah, I'm going to draw. And then it was like, oh, Fanboy's not on. Yeah, I could do it early. But I don't know, the adrenaline, I guess, is kicking in. Oh, this Iron Man's not bad. Let's see. And I was even thinking yesterday when Big B told me about it, like, hey, maybe there's maybe I could do another painting or something. And I was like, considering I haven't really painted in quite a while, this is monstrous. This is kind of one of those, I guess, if you know, you know type of deals, because it is it's an image book, but it's indie. Got a cap here. Forgot about this cap. I did like this one, but yeah. Now once I knew that wasn't happening. Jeez, I can't find the one I had in mind. Well, this is a definite in my head, at least. The Silver Surfer. What else did you guys like? You know, when I donate something to a charity, I want to make sure it's something that's gonna go. This was actually. Are you gonna be on? No, actually, Dracula. That's actually who I was talking about earlier. I didn't know about it until yesterday, and we actually have a family party going on. So I am going to be. I shouldn't say a family party. It's just a party. So I'm going to be otherwise busy. But Bigby was like, you know what? If you have some stuff, you could just donate it. So that's kind of what how I'm starting at least today with here. I'm definitely sending the Silver Surfer. I had another Silver Surfer in mind that I just can't find at the moment. But I don't know. Tell me what else you guys think. I showed you some stuff. Maybe this Iron Man. Maybe the Sandman. I know that Evil said he likes the Mr. Miracle. So let's see. Because like I said, I mean, if I'm doing something to a charity, I want to make sure that it's something that's going to go. Here is another watercolor book. Might be in this one. So here's like an animated series, Batman. I have to remember that I have to go upside down. This one I'm not, I'm iffy on. But for me, they are hard to see. Here, here's the Iron Man. Yeah, I understand. You know, why don't I try it like this? I don't know. Which view do you like better? Hey, Wellbore. This is a Canadian. Let me see. These actually, I think, look better on camera than they do in person. I've got a that classic Wolverine pose. A couple unfinished ones here. Vinnie Brand. No, I can't find the one I had in mind. That's strange. Did I go through this other watercolor book? I think I did. Yeah, that one. The other one was blank. The Wolverine is cool. Okay, so at least this one, the Silver Surfer, is going to be up in the auction, and I'll figure out what else. I'm leaning towards the Iron Man. The Iron Man, funny story, was actually the first one I had done in a long time. In case you missed my story, and I'll be brief because I don't like to repeat myself, and I know that that could be boring. Hey, Naman. Let's see. 2018, late 2018, I had rotator cuff surgery. Believe it or not, I used to be quite active, and while actually shoveling my mom's driveway, and I think that was late 17, I had gotten some shooting pain in my arm. Hand was swelling up, whole 9 yards. Went to my chiropractor, who was like, "Oh, it must be if you're feeling it in your wrist, you must have done something to your wrist and to your elbow." Kept adjusting it. Yes, Wellbore. Yes, you know that as a Canadian, I think you can endorse that message. Just kept getting adjustments, and it wasn't. I would get relief for maybe a day. So finally, and I should say this: the chiropractor I was going to at the time also, while doing this, had a rotator cuff injury and had to retire. So for a while, he had like a rotating kind of thing of like guest doctors. He was going to try to sell his business, which he eventually did. But the doctor I like was not the one it was sold to. But it took about a year before he was like, "Yeah, you know what? Maybe you should go for an MRI." And turns out it was my shoulder. I actually, they thought it was a torn bicep at first, but it turned out to be rotator cuff. I was supposed to get the surgery in early 18. I'm sorry, in mid 18. That got delayed because I had another surgery that came off unexpected. I had growth right in my jawline. So that was taken care of, removed, and then really at the tail end of 18 is when I had this finally done. And I did it at the right time considering everything that's happened with the world since. And here's a pencil. In case this is your first time seeing it, I'm never prepared. So that's why we're kind of like, yeah, no, we're going to draw. I was like, oh, I don't have anything ready. And no, I don't have a proper drawing table or whatever. So I just kind of rigged this up with the thing in my son's play mat here on top of my son's play mat. And I know it's not ideal, but it's what I got. Am I upside down if I go like this? Down? Yeah, probably. All right. So we're going to jump into the book again. In case you didn't see me last time, I've had a collection of these Joe Kubert school books for a while. And yeah, I know it's upside down. Let me see something. Where the hell? Camera. Yeah, it changes the view, but okay. Nah. I thought I'd figure something out. So, yeah. And I had these. I never went through it. So I started going through this on episode 1. I wasn't drawing in here. I was drawing in my notebook. And I'll show you what I wound up doing. Yes, that's my stomach, by the way. And I have some things in here that I have prepared for people I haven't sent yet. So this is what I wound up doing last time. And this is just kind of a nondescript Viking that's in that drawing book, just as a way to loosen up. So I'm going to do a quick loose up sketch. And let's do this. Kubert put one of these 3 kind of nondescript characters in here. So I did the Viking last time. I tried to do the other 2, and it was very apparent that, yeah, I kind of wasn't doing well. This is a great book, by the way, great resource because it says tell you some different tools to use, none of which I have. So that's why I figured let me use it in here. So I'm just going to try to do a quick sketch of, and I'll turn you upside down just for a second. Sucks. All right. And I might not be able to be looking at the chat that often. That's perfectly fine. Like, look, I understand this is not going to be the most exciting stream, so I'm cool with it. Trust me. Let's see. Oh, if Namin is still here, I'm sorry, I just forgot. Congratulations on your Comic Book Community Award win, sir. I don't think I got to say congratulations yet. So I'll take that opportunity now. One thing that a lot of people just don't realize. I got up earlier than normal to be here. Yeah. Same, bro. A lot of people don't realize that really, as boring as it is, honestly, the best way to sketch and to draw a character is just through shapes and whatnot. I don't typically like to do it this way myself. I've been mostly digital for a while, and by digital I mean just drawing on an iPad. I don't mean AI. For a couple of reasons. Number one, saves on equipment. You don't need this. You don't need your paper. You just need your iPad and your pencil, which are right here. I was about to decide, and I realized this is what I'm broadcasting from. Look, I didn't have any coffee yet either. I know this is annoyingly early. I don't know how does this. When I tune into Fanboy, maybe I'm like half listening. I guess that's how we do it. I'm usually grocery shopping, to be honest with you, but everything lined up the way it is. I was looking forward to watching Fanboy today, and it was like, oh, he's not in. Anyway, my own style, I kind of do a little bit looser, in my opinion. Um, some say that it's more of like a painterly look. I'll show you some progress in a moment, but it's good to kind of, I think at least, revisit these things unless you're like a McFarlane or a Liefeld who you're drawing every single day. Because art is a practice. It's not something that I drew this really once, now I could do this all the time. It's I drew this once and I have to draw again tomorrow and maybe 2 days later and 3 days later, or else you lose it. Practice does make perfect, even though I hate saying kind of common lines like that. Let's see. So I'm going to go down to the chest here. You know what? Instead of doing this as one of these nondescript characters, because this guy's got the build, I mean, it's clear if you look at these a little bit better. These are existing characters that maybe Kubert at the time just didn't have the rights to or didn't want to pay for the rights. So maybe I'll make this into Juggernaut. Let's see. If it looks good, it's Juggernaut. If not, it's just crap. Yes, I'm just kind of pleasing myself with some of my jokes. I will turn this around shortly, I promise. I thought StreamYard had a way to play like music or something in the background. I probably should figure that out. I'm not going to be continuing with my paid StreamYard plan come the spring. I think I have until May, if I'm not mistaken. Because they sold, or it was kind of more of a hostile takeover scenario, from what I understand. And yeah, the new pricing is outrageous. If you're somebody who streams every day, every single day, and makes money from it, maybe it's good for you. But YouTube is not a profession for me. I don't even know if it's a hobby, to be honest with you, for me at this point. But either way, I'm going to be taking either the free account or looking for an alternative. A lot of people have said to me to look into OST, I think. Problem is, I don't have a laptop. I just have my iPad and my phone here. Did the corporate raiders from Monty Python take them over? It's worse than corporate raiders. At least that would have been whimsical. It just sounds like some, good old fashioned bureaucratic scum. All right, so I'll show you what I did here so far. Again, this is going to look like a collection of shapes here. And this is just a warm-up. So you see head, shoulders, chest, tummy. I don't know what to call it. It's too freaking early. Shoulder, bicep, forearm, hands, and the legs going off here because, I don't know, we'll do it like those. A lot of people crap on him for not doing legs, but you know what? That's, I think it's smart. You're playing off of your strengths and weaknesses. And he's not the only one who did it. He's just the one who kind of, I think, took the most crap for it. Thank you, Mike. So I'm going to try to make this guy into Juggernaut. I'm just kind of capping off maybe not, because Juggernaut has a broader chest. At this point, I don't really want to. Screw it. Let's do it. Are there people who do this much faster? Yeah. Like I said, this is not the current typical way I draw when I sit down with my iPad. I think that's just a way that excuse me, try not to be too rude. It's just a way digital art basically, I think, helps. And again, I'm talking about drawing with an iPad. I'm not talking about AI. AI is not art, in my opinion. If you feel differently, that's fine, but it's crap. My opinion. There's no skill in that. Was about to test my stream for iPad drawing setup myself. Now that I saw your stream pop up. Diamond, I'll be honest, I'm just winging it. Obviously, if you have a good idea for a setup, man, go for it and let me know, because this isn't the most ideal. I'm not too, I'm not going to die on this hill like, oh, this is the best day. No, this is. I have a table, my monitor stand that's going to go in back of me for work. I messed up my desk to get this stand out. So this is what you do. By the way, and what I'm going to say is not revolutionary at all. You might be saying, how come you have this stand? How come you need this? Most, at least in my opinion, when you're drawing a piece, you need this kind of angled surface here. Yeah, this yard right now, Naman. You need this angled surface because there is some sort of an optical illusion between what you see and what you're drawing on the page here. Unless you're tracing, because then there's a whole thing, but we won't even get into that. If you don't do this and you're drawing flat or you're even painting flat, when you go to look at your final image, there's a distortion. And it's nothing to do with anything the artist did. It's just the curvature of your eye. It's all science, really. So that's why you see people using easels, even just for drawing or whatnot. And again, this is more of like an optional thing. I think that there are people who have kind of, like Naman just said, he said he calls it a skewed view. I think there are people who kind of lean into it a bit, and God bless them if they figured that out. I haven't, and it's some annoys me later on. I even see it on my iPad drawings. I should say this too. I'll go back and I'll see. I was like, it looks a little off, and it's because of that skewed view. I like that, Naman. I'm stealing that for now. I'm stealing up all the credit. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Juggernaut's mouth. Do I have a picture of Juggernaut up here? I don't think so. I know the mouth area is open. Whenever you're drawing a character, by the way, too, no matter who the character is, no matter how many times you may have seen them in a book or a movie or whatnot, it's a good idea to have a source or a visual kind of cue for it, just because it's easy to forget things. When you see, I think at least, when you see errors in comics, even if you're not going from a source, even just from the prior page, where like you have a ring on one finger and then the next panel the ring is gone and then it's back again. It's something like that. It's just either the artist or whoever was checking him. I don't know if that would technically be an editor. Lost their cue. Probably at least an hour. I don't know that I'm going to be able to jump on Naman, to be honest with you. This is kind of dependent on when my kids and my wife wake up. We have a party to go to later today. So that's why I'm a little bit early. And I saw that Fanboy was not on. And I also want to be respectful. I know Cliff said he was going on early. I don't know what time. So I don't want to step on his thing. I know he has a guest. Great guest, by the way, Brandon Ingram from Dismay. If you haven't seen Brandon before, check out Cliff's channel, because Brandon is definitely one of my favorite guests that I've had in the past year. And his book, The Gallows Man, is a very good book. Very good. You know, you hear people coming on with a Kickstarter. I don't know about everybody else. If I get a Kickstarter book, you know, even if somebody sends me a sample, first of all, somebody sends me a sample, I try to buy something from them anyway. If I don't like the book, I am not promoting it. I'm not talking about it. Just because at that point, I kind of feel like you're being a shill. And look, let's face it. I mean, you talk to one kind of you talk to one creator. He's going to be a Kickstarter creator. He's going to be on a bunch of things. Yeah, dope. I get it. You know, it's something I've been thinking about actually a lot lately too. My whole thing, like if I'm on, I want to make sure somebody's seeing it, what I'm doing, either now or later on. The fact that I think Cliff has Brandon as a guest too, I'm trying to be respectful of that. But it is something I've been thinking about lately, just because it's kind of almost impossible, I think, to avoid, you know, bleed over. Maybe I'm just being too cognizant of that. It was just more something I think I was cognizant of when I started streaming, and now there's a whole lot of more people streaming. So maybe that's something, not so much now, but in the new year, I'll be thinking of. I will say this, if you don't know, I don't stream every weekend anymore. Oh, yeah, well, Evil, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm the kind of person, I think you guys know I'm not competitive with what I do. I'm more of like, hey, if we can all win, great. And I also know that live streams are hard. I don't really get a chance to watch live streams anymore. As they're live, I should say. 9 times out of 10, if I'm watching your stream, it's pre-recorded. You know, it's just my new reality with 2 kids this year has been, hey, if TV's on and it's YouTube and my son is in the room, he's watching Blippi. Even if we're watching something else, it's Blippi time. We have the one TV, and even if so, I know that my wife wouldn't appreciate it. I was like, hey, honey, yeah, no, you watch Blippi. I'm going to go downstairs and watch some guy who's my age, you know, mid-40s, talk about comics. That wouldn't go over too well, I don't think. I made his arms a little too small, and I'm trying to correct that right now. So I will show you what I've done in a minute. I don't remember what Juggernaut's boots look like. So he's getting like old school, not tights, but whatever. If you go live with intent, it's a little more than important than just a hangout stream due to you having an idea or content idea. I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry. It's too early for me. Yeah, so I don't stream every week anymore. Again, I just needed more time to have a life. And also, like, you know, my wife needed to run errands, and it was kind of like, you know, I was like, well, you know, I have a stream smack dab in the middle of the morning. So that's why I'm doing it every other week. So there's no stream next week. In fact, next week is, during this upcoming week is my daughter's first birthday. So we're hoping to do a little bit of a celebration next week. We didn't really plan things because I'm just not a planner. The week after will be not a drawing session. This week today live. And my guest will be a gentleman from Sign Nation. I know he's been on other shows before. We're just going to have a nice chat. So definitely check that out, because his book, again, if I have somebody on who has a Kickstarter, it's something that I liked a lot, and his book is definitely unique. And I even include YouTube people in that too. I had Gary on. It's because I liked Gary's book. I had uh, excuse me, my brain just went away. Brian on, the doctor. I have the doctor on my shelf. In when I was recording videos, you could prominently see it. It's good stuff. Hangouts change just a conversation and loose the pen. Yeah. To paraphrase Mike, it's okay. Okay. Well, you know what? From now on, I'll be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going on. So this is a little bit more kind of improvement. I'm trying to think. The arms are still a little too short, in my opinion. Oh, here. You know what it is? I have to bring it to his crotch level. I also, you know what? If this weren't just like a practice drawing, um, sounds weird to me. Oh, yeah. This is what happens before coffee, Wellbore. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, so if I were doing this more as just like a non-practice drawing, I would also have him in more of a dynamic pose. One thing about Juggernaut, I mean, no matter which version you like, the well, by that I mean good Juggernaut or bad Juggernaut, I kind of like him as a good. Um, I don't think I've ever seen him like this, kind of like how I have him draw. This is a poor pause for Juggernaut, is what I'm saying. He's more of a dynamic character. You know, he's unstoppable. You want motion in him. See, I came this just to practice, and I'm giving you guys a free lesson. And I say that with a tinge of whatever, because I'm not an expert, of course. So this is maybe just a good kind of way to loosen up, so to speak. And yes, loosening up is a thing. If there are some artists that you like online, for example, I really like Yukio Smith. It's spelled UKO, I believe. If you're familiar with his name but can't place his work, I'm looking for my Reggie box, which I didn't realize I don't have around anymore. I haven't been to the LCS in quite a while, but he did the art on Reggie's hard comic boxes. That's how I became familiar with him. He go on his IG. He does a different practice drawing almost every day, and his practice drawings are friggin' fantastic. It's like, that's your practice? That's almost depressing. It's great. It's so great. It's depressing. Like that's amazing. That's practice. Okay. But yeah, like I wouldn't do Juggernaut in such a static kind of look here. Yeah, I mean, if I intended on this at Juggernaut when I was starting, I probably would do something more of hand in the air, one hand forward, one hand back, that type of thing. But we are where we are, and like I said, this is just a loosen up kind of thing. Yeah, see, Evil, like you need a Juggy on the couch. Here's the thing, too. To do something like static like this, a Juggy on the couch is kind of one thing. I don't know. When I draw something, it's got to be like fun for me. So it's like, okay, what's the context of Juggernaut on the couch? You know, is he unstoppable breaking through walls, but he stops to watch the Real Housewives? I don't know. Yeah, you know, I feel a way about, kind of sexual poses and everything like that. I mean, the great thing about comics is that no matter what you want to find, no matter what type of books you're interested in reading, it's there. At the same time, yeah, I'm just not into it because to me, it's I don't know, it's a cartoon. Like I'm not into the cartoon over sexualizing kind of things. Don't get me wrong, some of the sketches and artwork and books and even prints, you know, I look at like, oh wow, this is fantastic, and I'll show my wife. She's like, what the hell are you showing me? I'll give you an example. I'm not going to pull it out, but no pun intended. Oof, here we are. I have a sketch from, not a sketch, I'm sorry, a print from Adam Hughes from, I think, 2008 of Green Arrow and Black Canary. My wife is like, does not give me any parameters when I'm hanging something up. Yeah, I had this print before. Yeah, definitely. I had this print before, we even met, and I had it framed before we even met because at the time I really liked reading Black Canary and Green Arrow, and it's Adam Hughes. When I was putting some of these drawings up in my office, you only see the one behind me now. This behind me is an early Mark Brooks. Across from me, as you've probably seen if you look at my videos, I have Arthur Sudam, X-Men as Zombies, and a Mike Choi, a Billy Tan X-23, and Greg Hildebrandt, whom we just lost about a week and a half ago at this point, Wolverine, and Riley Brown Rogue. I have the Adam Hughes also, it's signed. I think it's Adam Hughes. I have to look at it. It's in a frame. I was like, don't hang that up. Why do I need a drawing of a woman with fishnets hanging up in my home? So that one's not hang up. And to be honest, I have a lot of prints I would love to hang up, but out of wall space. So we do kind of need the bigger house for a bevy of reasons. But I'll be lying if I say every time I daydream on Zillow, I'm like, this house isn't good because I don't have a place to put my comics. Which I'm sure my wife is rolling her eyes at if she were awake, which she's not. All right, so that was just like a loosen up type of thing. Let me see. Naman, are you going to do the auction later on? I don't know if you said it already. By the way, in this book, Keeper puts in blank pages for you to practice on. I just prefer to use my notebook, at least for now. So this is nice too, and this is, I guess you could say, a little bit of review of this. And yeah, I know that this is upside down. This is a step-by-step thing. So these files in here, the whiteboards here, he actually, Kubert actually put in different styles in here. Here it says the 5 homework boards included with this course are of professional quality. They are 2-ply smooth finish and oh, okay, I thought it was 5 different boards. Never mind. Yeah, no, are you doing the art auction later today? I know it's through Bronze Age Nerd. Big B contacted me about it. And in here, Kubert was talking a little bit about the paper quality. Of course, this was done before he passed away. And some of this is, hey, you can go buy this at store, which I think had just gone online. But it's one of the reasons I like these books is that he does tell you about the different tools that you do need. It's not like go to Michael's and buy a pencil set. He'll tell you what to buy, I suppose. He always says too, preliminary sketches should be done on inexpensive 5.5 by 11 online copy or stationery paper. And he said too, like the paper in here is for practice. I just use this because this is what I have, and I like to reflect back on stuff. Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm just sending stuff to auction basically. And here's good too. He talks about the different quality of pencils. 3H lead is good for initial layouts. 3H is a medium hard lead that will not smear. He also recommends the Magic rub erasers, the white ones over the pink ones, because these things cause damage. And some do use kneaded erasers. But one of the things too I like is he says, like, different tools work for different artists. You just have to figure out basically what you like. All right, later, Naman. I appreciate you coming in. Yeah, I'm probably not going to last much longer myself. Yeah, and this actually, he's just going into basically the different racer types, why don't you say? And you might be saying, well, what's erasers and erasers? Like, no, I mean, it's like you said, the pink ones can sometimes leave red marks and damage. Polymers are good for large areas, but if you're working on a soft, with a soft pencil, it could cause some damage. Um, Art gum, yeah, I don't use this one. You do leave a lot of residue. Magic rub is the best. Kneaded, I'm surprised he says may damage paper surface. I've never had an issue with kneaded that I could think of. And here he goes into the different types of paper quality as well, different finish, I should say. This is interesting, actually. Something I never kind of took into account. Here's a tip. Before erasing any errors, make your art correction on tracing paper first. In this way, you can retain your original drawing with your corrections added instead of redrawing the entire illustration. I never really thought about that. That's the tip of the day. Smear with your hands. Yeah, and there's just basically some other things here too. Just different paper quality. You can't use the same eraser on everything here. Okay, maybe we might finish the first chapter finally. What? Like another 10 pages on the book? No, we're not going to finish the first chapter finally. He goes into a whole thing about sharpeners. I have one sharpener right now. Here's if you're doing a proper sequence page, he tells you more about using a using a, I don't remember what those things are called. Okay, when your drawings look right, transfer your preliminary sketch thumbnail drawings to use your T-square. That's why. There it is. And this is about, hey, look, he's done his preliminary work on this smaller page here. And now they're transferring it here. And I don't think this is anything new. It's refreshing to see. Do with much detailed, simple, or serious. This is basically how to work out a sequence. So he started with his basic shapes, kind of like what we're doing today. And then we'll just keep kind of adding more to it as far as finding out the main lines and then the details. But he also said, hey, look, go to another perspective too. It helps you rough out your work and make it more visually exciting, just like this stream. Okay, here's the paper. And this is how to use this book. Next assignment in here, devote the upper 2/3 of your assignment page to design your main characters, your hero, your pencil only. Use any style, humorous or otherwise. I'm not going to do a whole thing here too, but there's an assignment in here. Draw this assignment in any style which you're comfortable with. Draw it in pencil only, no ink. If you prefer line drawing, do the assignment in line style. Basically, he wants you to draw a cowboy. Now, this is interesting because it says, hey, send your assignment to this address and we'll send it back with critiques. Maybe I might do that. I don't think I'm going to do that live because I haven't really given that much thought to it. Yeah, and this is actually the end of the first lesson. Because after this, he starts going to shadow light. Okay. So let's think. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to do this right. Does this include the assignment board? I don't think I have that. I think I just had the books. You know what? I'm going to do it, but I need to measure it out. Do I want to do it live? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to do my preliminary here. There's something I'm working on here. That needs to stay together. That's why I keep playing with this paper. And I have something that I've been working on for somebody I always sketch to that I've been a little too scared to do. If you know, you know. And I can't show that because it's going to be a surprise for that person. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do a preliminary of my cowboy character, and I think that'll be a good place to end. And Mike, I'm happy that this kind of gives me a little bit of Roland vibes going here. It's just a standard cowboy, but I don't know, I've never really drawn a cowboy. Actually, no. I was doing one during Roscoe's show, but yeah, it was just like a quick kind of thing. So look, it's a hat. You know, it's a cowboy, basic cowboy. Oh, there's a whole script here. Okay. So that might take a little bit longer than I anticipated. But I'm just going to try to do, it's a basic kind of cowboy head design here. Again, I'm not measuring anything out, so it's probably, I'm not going through the assignment, I guess, as they say. See, now you can see I'm a little bit more loosened up. I'm kind of going through it. The shoulder's starting to act up a little bit, so this might be shorter than we think. If you've seen me streaming, by the way, here's a little kind of cue. And you see me going like this, or you see me going like this, I'm starting to get stuff happening. Not good stuff. We were talking about subject matter and drawing before. I also, you may notice, I don't, I try not to draw violent imagery, even during Battober, which probably not going to finish Battober, but the piece I'm working on for Battober, you guys are going to like. I'm almost done. It's something that I've been stuck on for a couple weeks. I shouldn't say stuck. It's just taking. I keep adding stuff to it. But you may notice I try not to do anything too violent or creepy. Yes, because it just kind of falls out that way. So, being a child of the '90s, as many of us are, I grew up on Fantastic Supers. Cool, good to hear. I'm glad you're doing well, Canadian Survivalist. Yeah, so I grew up on cable, Punisher. You know, when you had like the dark heroes really kind of their rise. You had the beginning, the Image stuff. So, you know, when I was first drawing, I was like, oh, here's something. Here's Gen 13. Let me sketch that in my book here. Yeah, going back to movie books. And yeah, you know, when I'm drawing a lot of Cable, who at times I think his guns were bigger than him. You know, my parents were looking at that like, what's going on here? And they didn't voice that to me. It's something I actually didn't know until years later when I was, I think, in college. And apparently my mom especially was very concerned because it was like, yeah, everybody's always have a weapon or something like that. And when you're just sketching, um, you don't think, oh, this is something that's meant to hurt someone. Very it's very rare in comics, despite people having basically laser eyes and claws on their arms, that somebody actually gets hurt. It's usually a robot that gets destroyed or something like that. But different items, different symbolisms, whatnot, have different meanings, and I think that you have to be a little cognizant of that. Now, that being said, if you're going to read a Punisher book, you know what you're getting, right? So when I personally try to draw something or someone, I try not to push that kind of edge into it. Do I draw characters with guns? Yeah. Um, but I try not to lean into it, if that makes sense. Hey, madam, how are you? I feel like I haven't talked to you like in 2 weeks. We're just killing time here while people are sleeping in my house. By the way, if you missed the beginning of the stream, let me know what watercolors you think I should submit over to the Mission 22 auction later today. Definitely going to be the Silver Surfer, I think, and I have a little bit of a toss-up, as far as some of the other ones go. Okay. And I really haven't done anything yet. I'm just blah, blah, blah. See, it's just my little sketch figure here. I am working on another project that's due next month that I have not done a whole lot of stuff for yet, because I'm not a good planner. I can't discuss it yet, but hopefully soon. And hopefully it is something that is done well. I'll say this: I do have my practice together for it. I think tomorrow I'm going to start actually kind of fleshing everything out, and hopefully by next year, you guys know where I could talk about it. But it's something I'm excited about. It's good to be excited. I wouldn't say so excited that you just can't hide it, because I'm doing well hiding it, if I don't say so for myself. But it's a very exciting project, and if it pans out, I think it's going to be huge. Okay. Override my mind. Huge, yeah. Give us a hint, Phil. I cannot, because I had to sign papers. So, sorry, no hints. Look, if it's just me being an idiot, of course I'm going to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. When there's paperwork involved, I'm like, nope. Just need a little bit of water and some notch here. No, we have a party to go to. Where's my water? Oh. We have a party to go to, but I'm donating some watercolors that I have done over a couple of years. Definitely my Silver Surfer, maybe Wolverine, maybe Sandman, maybe Mr. Miracle. I don't know yet. Maybe Iron Man. Maybe Iron Man. Huh. You know what I'll do? Let's see. I'll show you guys. Apologize. I know, Mike, I think you're the only one who's left that was on this morning. I'll go through it again briefly. I might have to stop, to be honest with you. This is starting to bother me. So this one I'm definitely donating. This is Silver Surfer from the Mike Allred run. And then I'll show you what the choices are. You know what? Maybe I'll let Mike pick one. And maybe I'll let Madam pick one. Let me see. Was it in this book? Oh, here's one I skipped over before. I kind of don't like the face. This is a Doctor Strange. I was trying to do a little bit of, what do you call it? Woman in Gold kind of thing on the back there. I meant earlier this morning. Maybe Daredevil. I like this one, but I don't. You know, any thoughts you guys have, I'm open to. Silver Surfer is what we're doing. I have a bunch of unfinished ones in here. Clint, thank you very much. Yeah, I was watching that. What was that movie with Ryan Reynolds where he's an attorney? Trying to get the Clint that was in the family back. Hold on, madam. We'll go back to that in a second. I'm just going through some old stuff as I'm eating. This was the Mr. Miracle. I tried to do something a little bit with the style there that I don't know that I got across. I don't know if I showed this one before. This one I'm a little iffy on too. This is a patch. No, Mr. Miracle. Here's the other one I was thinking about. This is a Sandman. I like this one a lot. This one might have to go too. Batman animated series I'm still iffy on. I should get back into watercolors. I enjoyed doing that. It's just time and expense. The classic Wolverine #1 cover. I feel like these look a lot better on here than looking here. Although, honestly, I guess if I were to, like, if I'm buying something like this, I'm going to have it framed up like this. Yeah, you know, I'm getting a kind of a skewed perspective myself because I'm looking at it like this. I'm like, oh, this is, you know. But here it looks great. But like most artists, and I'm sure people could kind of go into that, I am my own biggest critic. This isn't up, but if you guys want to see this, I did an album cover in 18. And this was the cover. You can actually get this on, not this, but the music's on iTunes and everything. It's from Joey Salvia. This was from his album, The Soundtrack in My Head. I've done a couple other covers for him. One of his actually more recent larger albums too. And this was the first book I did. This is while I was healing from that surgery. So this one I was really thinking about. There's an Iron Man. I was having a lot of good time with his arc reactor there. And that, I'll be honest with you, it was, I guess you could say, very Liefeldian. I was trying to avoid showing the legs. It's like, here, we'll make this all crazy. So people's like, where's his legs? And let's see. This one I didn't show off. I like it, but not necessarily for the auction. I was trying to do cover recreations at first. Oh, thanks, No Good. No with a K, of course. Not you're all good in my book. Why don't we say that? Yeah, I had an idea to try to recreate covers just with like watercolor with acrylics, and I think this was the only successful ones. The other ones I kind of gave up in the middle of doing this. Like, I don't like this. Some miles that I don't like that I did. Here's the other one. Here we go. This is the other one I was thinking about. Tell me what you guys think. This is another Silver Surfer. And this, again, from the All Red run. I loved this cover when he had it. And I was like, let me give this a shot. And I like how this came out. I do. So you have a Galactus, squishing Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer I could have done a little bit better on, but overall I really do like the piece. Monstrous. I like this. I might not send this because I don't think there's a whole lot of to be honest, I'll be honest with you, I've never met another Monstrous fan. It's a great book. The style of artwork in it is amazing. It's so far into the series now, I would say go buy trade paperbacks. In fact, I think the series is almost done. But they've been saying that now for like 5 years. Oh, we're almost done. But I like this. There's a woman in the creature that's kind of possessing her, for lack of a better description. This one I like. Captain America coming at you with the shield. And again, I did a lot of these while I was recovering from rotator cuff surgery. And it helped, believe it or not, loosen things up. Yeah, so I definitely want to send, I think, the Surfer Flying Through Space one. Madam, I know, wanted to see that again. I'll pull that up. And that one is slightly larger, actually, now that I'm looking at this too. Was it in this book? Let's see. Yeah. I'm not a huge Surfer fan, but I'll say this. I loved the All Red and Slot run. So that kind of inspired me here. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. What if I were to send 3 pieces for the Mission 22 auction later on? What do you guys think? When you do watercolor, is there a specific paper size you recommend or prefer your own, or prefer your art books? I haven't done a watercolor in a while. No good. So just take that with a grain of salt. I think that with anything, whether you're sketching, whether you're painting, you got to just do what you're comfortable with and what fits for you. When I started doing this, this was a graduation to this bigger page for me. I started with just these, Strathmore books, because I liked that you can rip things out. There's a couple things that I actually gave away that I don't have anymore. If you go back into my IG pages, you can see it. I had done 3 watercolors. Excuse me while I shove food in my mouth. Prior to having my own YouTube channel, I was very big into listening to the Opie Radio podcast. Let me finish chewing, I guess, and I'll tell you. Okay, Brad, I'm going to wrap up soon anyway, too. But I'm just buying myself a little bit of time for my shoulder. Thickness. To be honest with you, no good. I literally was like, all right, this sounds good. I'm a little bit less technical. These were just more for, just to give you a little bit of insight. I was home, and when you have 2 surgeries back to back, there's a lot of recovery time. I had been at my prior employer for a long time, so I had a lot of PTO built up. So I was gone for, I think, like 2.5 months, maybe a little bit longer. And this was before we had 8 different streaming services and everything. There was only so much Netflix you could watch. So it's like, I need to do something. And this also was before kids, I should say. So my wife was going into work, and I'd be home. It's just like, remind yourself to, do your ice packs or whatever, every hour, 2 hours. But yeah, so I was just like, hey, just grab something for me. Hey, 3, good. Just grab something for me, and I'll just to kill time. So this is what I wound up grabbing. So and again, it was just about what was available to me. Yeah, so I had I was very big into the Opie Radio podcast. If you don't know Opie Radio, here in the New York, New Jersey area, in the late '90s, early 2000s, there was a popular shock jock DJ duo, Opie and Anthony. They later spread out to other markets. Let me see. No good. Curious. I've been considering getting a new art book to have artists or Comic Cons do commissions in. I'll be honest with you. No good. I haven't been to a con in a while. I have a sketchbook, a small kind of black bound one. I've never shown off before because I saw somebody do that at a con. I was like, that's really cool. And that was a very small con. I went to the next con, which was much bigger, and I saw the exact same artist. I'm not going to say who, but he's like, I'm not signing in this. I'm not doing anything in a sketchbook. And he wound up just signing in the book. But yeah, he was going through some stuff, so I'll give him a little bit of credit. I know he had a family member who had just passed away. I didn't know that until recently, but that's, okay. You have a ticket to be a dick, I guess you could say, for that purpose. Anyway, yeah, so Anthony had gotten fired. Opie's show, oh no, that was way before. So they had gotten fired from regular radio. And if you know, you know. If not, that's what Google is for. They resurfaced about 4 years later after their contract expired on satellite radio. I was very big into satellite radio for a long time. I tried to get a job with what was then XM. That's actually my master's thesis was on satellite radio, and that went nowhere. After getting kicked off of satellite radio, Anthony had gotten fired. Opie had some problems after the Sirius XM merger. Opie launched his own podcast. I was a big fan of. I would listen to often, all that good stuff. I was a very big fan, which my hat's not on today, but you usually see my Ruizing hat, of Carl Ruiz. And I figured, hey, let me paint, let me draw. My cover, excuse me, the cover of Opie's podcast from, I'm going to say, I think it was 18, all through the pandemic, really, was my artwork. I have screenshots. I've been meaning to show that off at some point. And I had done a couple watercolors. I did one of Opie and a couple of Carl. Carl passed away in the September, I want to say, of 2019. And yeah, I took it hard, which I kind of feel very weird saying. That's a whole nother thing. But my wife and I went to, they had a public kind of event that was like a remembrance thing in the Bronx, which I had never been to before. And didn't realize it's like not a great area. So my wife and I, early in the morning, like, we're taking the train, we're taking the subway. And as soon as we got off the subway, I'm like, we have to go where? Manny, maybe you know the area better than me, but this was at a place called Pig Beach, nice barbecue joint, kind of like a beer garden barbecue joint thing. And yes, again, this is before kids. Very key to this. As soon as we got off the subway, I was like, all right, honey, we have to walk like 4 blocks. Keep up with me. Don't look at anybody, just look at the ground. So we walked as quickly as we could and got there. And there, I met Opie. I gave him the watercolor. He kind of knew me because I was sending him the pictures, and he had used my pictures for, again, his cover art before. There are also, he was selling some T-shirts with my artwork on it. I don't think any of them sold, to be honest with you. One of them he had to take down because I think he got in trouble with Howard Stern for that. I'm just guessing. I don't know for sure. But there I also gave Carl's brother, Chef Ruiz's brother, and his mother 2 of the watercolors from this book of Carl. Years later, they wanted my address and everything. I put all the information on the back. Never heard anything. That's fine. Years later, I got a direct message from somebody that says, oh, I'm friendly with Carl's mother. She has your painting hanging in her kitchen. I said, oh, I don't know. Somebody painted that. So I'm happy that that stuff is living on in his family's homes, and that they're getting some life into them and brings them some joy there. So let me see. I'd ask people what they think I should send in. Super, DD, and Miracle. Super what? Maybe Surfer? Yeah. Surfer and Mr. Miracle. But that's okay. Madam, you know what? If you should read. I don't know if it's a book I would recommend. There's another book I want to recommend to you, but Mr. Miracle is a book that I've recommended, the Tom King run, and lent out. And I'm not saying anything groundbreaking. It's a pretty well-respected run, but I did highlight it years ago as books that are good for recent fathers to read. Yeah, this is just a book I never finished here. So, Silver Surfer, Daredevil. I did see an Iron Man in there, I thought, at one point. Let me see. No, okay. Surfer, yeah. Yeah, so Surfer, Daredevil, and Mr. Miracle, I will have to, excuse me, take pictures of and get that over to Big V. Yeah, you know what? I really liked Tom King's Batman run. I thought he got a lot of crap from it. Yeah, no good. Dude, if your name is No Good Comics, you got to read Mr. Miracle. I'm sorry, I'm just playing with you a little bit, but it's a great run. It's a great read. I didn't read it until it was collected either. And to show you how good it is, I actually lent it to a friend of mine who is not a comics fan. And I've lent books to him and his wife before. Like I had the first 2 volumes of what do you call it? Saga. And I haven't read it in original form. I always wait for the trades. And they devoured it like in an afternoon. I gave them the next 2 volumes, and also Mr. Miracle and Superman for All Seasons. It's been 2 years and I haven't gotten it back yet. But bless them on that. Yeah, I hear you. All right, so let me get back to my character design here. So again, I'm just going to do like a simple kind of a cowboy design. And by the way, if you ever want to know if you're truly done with a picture, it's just one of my things I do. You put it down, you walk away. Come back to it an hour later that day, or even like the next day, and look at it with fresh eyes. Because look, I just took that little break, and I knew I had to, when I came back, I had to adjust my character model a little bit here. Okay, so let's try this here. Again, I've only drawn one cowboy before, and it wasn't that good. One cowboy that I could remember. So we'll give it a shot here. And I'm just abandoning this. I'm just holding it now. And I have to say that the shapes, as I said, are a very useful guide for me. Maybe it's something I might employ a little bit more. The only thing I don't like about, my shoulder's starting to really go in. The only thing I don't like about this is that I tend to look at it and I'm like, am I copying the style too much? I mean, Kubert did say to do it in his own style, so maybe I shouldn't look at this. I'm going to try to look at something else. Just to get that cue out of my head. Okay, yeah, and I am just, again, working on my Kubert assignment of doing a character design for a cowboy. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. I haven't been to my LCS since August, so I am really, really, really far behind. Let's see. I got to run. Okay, no good. Thanks for coming by, man. Yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think of Mr. Miracle. If you like King, you're definitely going to like it. I was starting to say before, I think his Batman run was way underrated. I think that he got a lot of flack, but I like when people try to do something different. All right, I'll see you, Evil. I'm just trying to do a quick little character design, and then I'm going to be out as well, if my shoulder permits, because it's not feeling too good. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I can tell now as I sketch out further that my modeling is definitely off here. So it's something I have to work on. But you notice I feel like I'm moving a little bit more fluid than especially when I started the stream this morning. I definitely hear my son, so this might have to get cut a little bit short here. All right, I'm going to show you what I have. Oh, I didn't even know I clicked on your thing. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to have to kick out here. I can't leave my wife alone up there with my kids. So I'll try to get this close here. Just working on kind of a basic cowboy design. A little bit too generic to me. If I had more time, I would try to make it look a little bit more unique. But I said, look, this is just a good exercise and just a way to kind of just sharpen my skills. Yeah, so I am going to cut out everybody, but just as a reminder, I only do my show now every other weekend. And I'm going to keep the 11 o'clock time for now. You know, you guys convinced me I don't necessarily have to worry about who else is on whenever they're on. You know, I of course want you to support everybody who's out there. Cliff has got a great show. If he didn't start already, I think it's going to start in about a half hour with Brandon Ingram from Dismay Comics. I read some stuff he sent me for Gallows Man, and I've I've backed his Kickstarter, and I'm eagerly looking forward to that next chapter. I don't think that comes out until January, but definitely go to check that out. No show next weekend. Got my little girl's birthday. We're trying to figure out the weekend after is going to be an episode of Last Week Today. It's not going to be a drawing show. And my guest is going to be from Signation. And I can't think of the name of his comic, but he's been on other shows. Really great comic, and I'm excited to talk to him. I've got to brush up on it. Other than that, look, I've been saying this. I've been recording content. I just haven't released it yet. Just trying to figure out, because I think, like many in the community, I'm trying to really figure out what I want to do with my channel. And that's a deeper talk that we're going to save for another day, because I can hear my son. She needs some help. Other than that, I hope everybody here has a great week. I appreciate you stopping in, just seeing me sketch for a little bit. And stay tuned to my IG page, because I am almost done with that Battober pick I was talking about. See if there's anything else. Nothing I could think of. And Monday's Veterans Day here in the U.S. So if you know a veteran, why don't you just go up and say thank you? Good thing to do. Anyway, got to run. Peace, love, and comics.